Good morning, student. Today we are going to study the next topic, that is levy of GST. But before that, let us study the uh, in a in a short manner whatever we have learned in our previous lecture. So what we have learned in the previous lecture regarding the GST, that is the introductory part, when it is launched in India from 1st July 2017 onwards. Why why GST? GST is going to replace, or already it has replaced, the uh, various taxes which are used to be levied on supply of goods or services or both, as well as manufacturing of goods and uh, the importing the goods or bringing the goods in the city. So for that purpose, whatever these small taxes were used to be levied, that nowadays subsumed in GST. So GST, as we have discussed, it is a multi-stage tax which is levied at every stages when the goods is supplied by the manufacturer to the wholesaler and wholesaler to the retailer and by the retailer to the ultimate consumer. So this is the history of the GST that also we have discussed. We have seen the advantages of GST, that it is mainly a technological driven. So all the activities like registration, return filing, payment of GST are online, and it is a systemized tax which is mainly remove the cascading effect on the sale of goods and services. Now the India has adopted the dual model of GST, where the transactions or the supply transactions are classified into two categories, that is interstate supply and intrastate supply. If the recipient and supplier both are located in different states, then IGST will be levied. If both are located in same state, then CGST and SGST or UTGST will be levied. So this discussion we have already made in our previous lecture. These are the taxes which are subsumed in GST, but these products are still out of the scope of GST. The removal of cascading effect also I have explained you, so you can go through it. GST Council is the apex body which decides regarding the effective implementation of the GST law and the regulation of GST law in India. So they are having rights to introduce a new GST rate or change the GST rate on a particular commodities, or to make them exempt or bringing the exempt goods into the tax bracket, uh, changes in registration provisions or returns or payment of GST. So they generally discuss and correct the various provisions as per the needs. So these are the features of the GST Council already discussed with you. You can go through it. GST Network is the non-profit, non-government organization which provides the IT system of the GST portal and manages the computerized system for the, or provides the infrastructure of computerized framework or electronic data processing framework for the effective implementation of GST in India. So normally more than 3 billion invoices per month are generated through the goods and service tax network, and it is easy for nowadays to all the suppliers to register or for generation of the invoices or for the payment and refunds through the electronic way. So that facility is provided by the goods and service tax network. Now let us come to our today's topic, that is levy of GST. Now we will discuss one by one that the CGST shall be levied on all intrastate supply. As I discussed with you, if in intrastate, that means within a state supply is there, then CGST and SGST will be levied. For example, if any supplier is located in Mumbai and if he supplies goods to the recipient which is located in Pune, then both the cities are located in Maharashtra. Therefore, the CGST and SGST will be levied. So one point you have to keep in mind that CGST and SGST will be levied on all intrastate supplies. Similarly, if the same supply or transaction, that is intrastate supply transaction, happens in the union territory, then instead of SGST, UTGST will be levied. So CGST and UTGST will come in a union territory. The IGST will be levied on all interstate supplies. So if any supplier is located in Mumbai and recipient is in Ahmedabad, then this is called the interstate supply, and in such case the IGST will be levied. Now the next point is, yes, so now we will see the GST rates. So there are certain goods and commodities on which no taxes will be levied, such as uh, sanitary napkins, deities made of stone, marbles or wood, then rakhis without any precious metals, raw material used in brooms, bread, salt, sindoor, natural honey, bangles, handloom, बेसन, फ्लोर, eggs, stamps, तो इसके ऊपर जीएसटी रेट नील है. On the other hand, all the services uh, regarding the hotels and lodges who carry a tariff below Indian rupees 1000 are exempted from taxes. So जहाँ जिस होटल में और लॉजिंग बोर्डिंग में दिन का किराया 1000 रुपये से कम है, उधर जीएसटी रेट नील है, वहाँ जीएसटी नहीं आता. इवन इफ यू आर buying certain services such as Jandhan through the Jandhan Yojana, or any bank charges on savings accounts are not considered for the GST purpose, and on which the GST rate is nil. On the other hand, the basic or the minimum GST rate, which is a 5%, it will be charged on the certain product, certain goods such as skim milk powder, frozen vegetables, coffee, coal, fertilizers, tea, spices, ओके, सर्टन आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन, अगरबत्ती वगैरह, इसके ऊपर 5% जीएसटी रेट आता है. ऑन द अदर हैंड, the services such as AC and non-AC restaurants, takeaway food, restaurants in hotels with room tariff less than 7,500 rupees, transport services like railways and airways, supply of tour operator services, selling of space for advertisement in print media, they generally charges 5% GST. So GST at the rate 12% will be levied on frozen meat products, butter, cheese. देखो अभी स्पाइसेस के ऊपर 5% था. एकदम आप अगर सिर्फ गेहूं चावल लेते तो उसके ऊपर जीएसटी नहीं है, सॉल्ट के ऊपर जीएसटी नहीं है, एग, मीट, चिकन, पोल्ट्री आइटम्स, वेजिटेबल्स, नो जीएसटी. बट वही अगर आप फ्रोजन वेजिटेबल्स लेते तो 5%, और अगर आप बटर, चीज, प्रोसेस्ड मीट वगैरह लेते हो जैसे कि कुछ sausages वगैरह, fruit juices, then it will attract 12% GST. So even the movie tickets under Indian rupees 100, business class air tickets, hotel inns, guest house, उसके ऊपर जहाँ टैरिफ रेट मोर देन 1000 एंड लेस देन 7500 रुपीज पर नाइट है, वहाँ 12% जीएसटी आता है. ऑन द अदर एंड 18% इज अ जनरल रेट. इस रेट के अंदर बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट्स आते हैं. सो मोस्ट ऑफ द आइटम्स आर पार्ट ऑफ दिस टैक्स स्लैब. सो जैसे कि रिफाइंड शुगर, पास्ता, पेस्ट्रीज एंड केक्स, डिटर्जेंट्स, थोड़ा जो भी लग्जरी गुड्स है, इवन चॉकलेट्स, प्रिजर्व्ड वेजिटेबल्स, ट्रैक्टर्स, आइसक्रीम, ओके, मिनरल वाटर, डिओड्रेंट्स, वाटर हीटर्स, वॉशिंग मशीन्स, टेलीविजन्स, ओके, sanitary wear, leather clothing, marble and granite, cutlery, goggles, binoculars, oil powders, that all comes under the tax rate of 18%. See, even some parts of pumps, electrical boards, panel is sub 18% GST की rate में आती. And where the restaurants located inside hotels with tariffs of Indian rupees 7,500 and above, talking about restaurants, there also the 18% GST rate will be there. And the hotels and inns and guest house where the room tariff rate is more than 2500 but less than 5000 rupees per room per night, there also 18% GST will be charged for per room per night. इवन आईटी सर्विसेज अगर आप सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप करने के लिए देते हो तो उसके ऊपर भी 18% मैक्सिमम सर्विसेज जो है दैट विल अट्रैक्ट 18% जीएसटी. 28% is the highest GST rate. Here pan masala, dishwasher, sunscreen, weighing machine, paint, cement, even the automobiles such as motor car, motorbikes, hair clippers, motorcycles will attract 28% GST. The services in five-star hotels where the bill of hotel stay above Indian rupees 7,500 will attract 28% GST. Even movies, tickets and betting on casinos and racing will come under this category. Now, next point is the GST composition scheme. Now, dear students, there are certain suppliers who are their turnover is not that much higher as compared to the other businessmen. That means they are small businessmen or small suppliers. So, in the case of GST, every registered supplier has to file the monthly return and they have to pay the GST monthly. So, every registered supplier will have to file return for every month and one annual return. So, 13 times they will have to file the return. So this becomes very complicated. So GST composition scheme is available for only small businessmen or to the small suppliers. So there is a condition that there is a restriction for the turnover of such supplier. So if any supplier wants to opt for the composition scheme, there are certain conditions. The first condition is that if they are the manufacturer or retailer, then their turnover should not be more than 1 crore 50 lakh during the financial year. And if they are service provider, then their turnover or this total revenue for the year should not be more than 50 lakhs. So the normal taxpayers need to submit 3 monthly GST returns, that is GST1, GST2 and GST3, and one annual return, that is GST9. But however, if supplier has applied for the composition scheme, then they will have to file only the quarterly return under GSTR4 and one annual return, that is GSTR9. So the GST rates are from 1 to 6%. So but before that, there are certain rules for opting the GST composition scheme. This scheme is not available for any individuals or businesses who supplies goods through the e-commerce portal. So if you make advertise of your product or sells the product, supplies the product through the electronic commerce portal, and even if your turnover is less than 1 crore 50 lakhs, then also you cannot opt for the GST composition scheme. Further, this scheme is not available for non-resident taxable person or casual taxable person. A non-resident person means what? Those who are not resident in India. Under section 6(1) and under section 6(6) we have discussed the residential status of individual, and if they are non-resident in India, that means not more than 60 days during the previous year, if their staying period is less than 182 days or less than 60 days, then they will be declared as what? Non-resident. And if such person supplies the goods in India, then they will be called as non-resident taxable person. Casual taxable person means those suppliers who are not supplying the goods regularly. वो कभी कभार आते हैं और अपना गुड्स बेच के चले जाते हैं, तो उनका कुछ ऐसा ठीक ठाक ऐसा ठिकाना नहीं रहता. जहाँ भी ट्रेड फेयर रहता है वहाँ जाके वो अपना गुड्स सप्लाई करते हैं. उनका कोई ऐसा स्पेसिफिक बिजनेस लोकेशन नहीं रहता. इवन आइसक्रीम मैन्युफैक्चरर्स और द manufacturers of pan masala and tobacco products, or individual or business who have purchased goods from unregistered suppliers, or those who are supplying taxable goods outside of their registered state, that means those who are engaged in interstate supply of goods, they are not eligible for composition scheme. So this scheme is normally for the shopkeepers, food service units, small manufacturing unit, फ्रूट एंड वेजिटेबल वेंडर्स, ट्रक ऑपरेटर, सर्विस सेक्टर यूनिट्स, मशीन ऑपरेटर, इनके लिए ये बनाया गया है. सो द फर्स्ट इज दैट द मैन्युफैक्चरर एंड ट्रेडर्स के लिए, those who want, those who are newly registered, their turnover should not be more than 1 crore 50 lakhs. If they want to opt for the GST composition scheme, then max to max 1 crore 50 lakh rupees तक ही उनका turnover होना चाहिए. But for the service providers, max to max is a 50 lakhs. Now the rupees 1 crore 50 lakhs cap is further limited in a special category states, say for example Uttaranchal or Northeast states. For them the limit is only 75 lakhs, but in Maharashtra, as we are staying in Maharashtra, and so our home state is a Maharashtra, so we will for us the limit is 1 crore 50 lakh rupees, but in the case of special category states it is 75 lakh rupees. Now, what are the benefits of composition scheme? So first of all, it reduces the tax payments, because at those who are opting the GST composition scheme, they have to pay only uh, with the small GST rates on the total turnover. Further, there is lower compliance requirements. No need to file multiple returns. No need to file the details for the ITC credit. Okay. It also helps for the increased liquidity, because you need to pay the collected GST after 3 months. So the businessman can use that fund for their own business. Okay. So, but the very limit of GST composition scheme is that under which you cannot claim any input tax credit, as those who are registered under composition scheme cannot claim the input tax credit. Now, what is the meaning of input tax credit? That I have explained. For example, अगर आपका आपने 1 लाख के ऊपर अगर 20% 12% GST पे किया है, जो आपने गुड्स परचेज किया था, बट वो अगर आप कॉम्पोजिशन स्कीम आपने किए और वो गुड्स अगर आपने 2 लाख में बेचा, जिसके ऊपर मानो कि 1% GST कलेक्ट किया गया रहेगा, तो उसके ऊपर इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा, क्योंकि अपनी जीएसटी कॉम्पोजिशन स्कीम लिए. दोज हु हैव ऑप्टेड फॉर जीएसटी कॉम्पोजिशन स्कीम कैन नॉट अवेल फॉर इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट. Okay, so further you cannot supply the goods outside of the states. If you start to supply the goods outside of state or start to export, then this facility or this scheme will not be available to you. Further, in this case you cannot collect GST from your recipients. Okay, so you need to pay GST, but you cannot collect separately from your recipients. So these are the GST rates. So those who are manufacturers, for them the GST rate under composition scheme is only 1%, that is 0.5% CGST and 0.5% SGST. IGST will not come. Why? Because GST composition scheme is only limited to the intrastate suppliers, और IGST तो इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई में ही आता है. जिनका रेस्टोरेंट से नॉट सर्विंग अल्कोहल, फॉर देम द GST रेट इज 5%, 2.5% CGST and 2.5% SGST. And for the service provider it is 6%. So if any service provider is there, maybe architect, maybe a professional persons, consultant, engineer, charter accountant, so for them the rate is 6%, 3% CGST and 3% SGST. So thank you. The remaining part we will discuss in next lecture.